There is an unspoken rule in the travel community. You have probably heard it before. To be a real traveler, you are supposed to do it all yourself. You are supposed to spend hours on 3 different train apps, book obscure guest houses, negotiate with local drivers, and proudly navigate a city you have never seen before with nothing but a backpack and grit. For a long time, I bought into the myth. I thought taking a guided tour was the easy way out, a conveyor belt for tourists who didn't want to do the work. But then, my perspective shifted. Right now, I am standing on the threshold of a massive life transition. My official retirement date is set for this coming November. In this quiet, preparatory season of wrapping things up, I've had a lot of time to reflect on what I actually want this chapter of my life to look like. And I realized something fundamental. I want to travel to find freedom, not to give myself a second job. Last year, I went to Peru. This spring, I spent a week in Italy. And by the time I board my flight to Vietnam later this winter, I will have officially closed the door on my corporate career. My secret to do all of this without burning out during this major pivot? I took a guided tour. Specifically, I used Gate 1. And today, I want to talk about why, especially as we look towards the slow, peaceful horizon of retirement. Surrendering the logistic might actually be the ultimate hack for slow, reflective travel. And just a quick sidebar, no, this video is absolutely not sponsored by them. I paid for every single trip with my own wallet, but since I am retiring in November and heading to Vietnam next, if any travel brand do want to sponsor my future wanderings, I am completely open to the invitation. Call me. The thought of researching hotels, coordinating train timetables, booking museum entry tickets months in advance, and figuring out how to get from point A to point B in a country where you don't even speak the language. It doesn't excite me. It drains me just to think about it. When you spend all your energy managing the logistics of travel, you have very little energy left to actually experience the destination. By letting a tour company handle the hotels and the transportation, I get to show up with a clear mind. The heavy machinery of travel is handled, leaving me free to do what I actually came to do: observe, reflect, and enjoy. But the main worry people have with group tours is the loss of freedom. You worry you will be dragged around on the strict schedule, wearing matching hats with zero time to breathe. That is why I have grown to appreciate the Gate 1 style. It serves as a logistic baseline, but it leaves plenty of blank pages in the itinerary. Other than the few times we had to leave earlier to catch flights, most of the day started at a very reasonable hour. There was no 5 a.m. departure. During our Peru and Italy trips, they provided a structured framework, but allowed us the flexibility to opt out or carve our own path with free time and option tours. While in Rome, we booked a separate semi-private tour of Vatican City through trip.com on our own. It gave us the best of both worlds. the ease of the tour's transportation, but the intimacy of a private experience when we wanted it. And yes, let's address the elephant in guided tours: the inevitable shopping stops. On almost every guided tour, there are one or two designated spots to see local crafts, like a glass-blowing factory in Venice, the baby alpaca textile shop in Peru, or a wine cellar in Tuscany. I know some travelers dread this, but honestly, we have never felt any high-pressure sales tactics. In fact, if you change your mindset, these stops are actually brilliant. They are safe, comfortable environments where you can stretch your legs, learn a little bit about local craft, and most importantly, for any seasoned traveler, they always have clean restrooms. Trust me, when you are exploring historic ruins or old cities, knowing exactly where the clean restroom is, that is not a compromise. That's a luxury. There is also a deep peace that comes with a guided tour when you are visiting a part of the world where you do not speak the language. When we traveled through Peru, having a local guide meant we weren't just looking at ruins. We were understanding the soul of the people who built them. We were not stressed about finding a taxi driver who understood us. We were looking out the window at the Andes, completely present in the moment. To me, that's what the unfinished journey is all about. It's about recognizing that slowing down does not mean we have to struggle. In retirement, we are learning to let go of the need to control every outcome. Surrendering the itinerary to someone else isn't giving up. It's an act of trust that allows you to be fully present. In a few months, I will be boarding a flight to Vietnam. It's a country I've dreamed of visiting, filled with rich history, incredible food, and the language I do not speak. Once again, I'm letting a tour handle the bus schedules and the hotel check-ins. But I want to be clear about something. I am not doing this to perform for a camera. I am traveling purely for myself. I'm traveling to explore, to learn, to slow down, and to simply exist in a world outside my comfort zone. My trips are not content-gathering missions. They are my real life. This channel isn't a job either. It's simply a quiet, honest space where I've chosen to keep a journal. A place to capture and share my experiences as they actually happen, whether they go perfectly or whether they fall completely apart. Because the bad days, the missed turns, and the quiet slump are just as much a part of the journey as the beautiful sunsets. If you are waiting to take your next big trip because the planning feels too overwhelming, let this be your permission to take the easy path. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Surrender the itinerary, pack your bags, let someone else drive, and enjoy the ride. Thank you for stopping by this corner of my unfinished journey. I will see you in the next chapter.